Hi, Misha here, and those who follow either this channel or the main Mishaco one know that my birthday is in November. I don't usually say exactly which day because I do like some degree of privacy, but yeah, I'm a Scorpio. So I plan on doing kind of 3 videos to get back to you guys. In this video, I'm going to show you a toy I bought for myself because of it. Second video will be a black box, and the third video, the final one, will actually be a model of a real-world aircraft that I have been wanting and waiting for. Say hi, Odie. For ages. Yeah, there's the kitten, by the way. Apparently kitten pop up too. Meow. So yeah, I'm really excited about that, to have something super cool to show you in the world of fighter jets. But for video 1, we're going to talk about Star Wars Black Series and apparently kittens. Hi, kitten. So I brought out the Snowspeeder. Quite a thick, large vehicle, although it's very flat. And this is a pretty good size, well over a foot by a foot, although not super heavy. And I picked this one up a few months ago when a good deal came around, about $100. And it does come with a figure, so that helps offset a bit, but it doesn't seem like that Hasbro will ever do more of these. And then I told myself I wouldn't do any more of the large scale, and you know where this is going. I swore I wouldn't get it, but first I had some coupons, and I found a good deal. I broke down and bought the first vehicle, and I think to date still very much the largest in the Black Series here, the TIE Fighter. And this is very much in scale for 6-inch figures, so about 1/12 scale. So yeah, multiply this by 12 and it would be full size. So it is in scale with our Snowspeeder, which until now did seem big. And that's also why we're doing it here in the kitchen. Apologies for that. I'm also doing laundry, so if you hear any noises, no, I didn't actually lock a cat up anywhere. At least I hope I didn't lock a cat in the laundry. That would be interesting. But yeah, let's talk about this TIE Fighter and why at first I wasn't going to get it, and why I gave in to temptation and weakness and did get it after all. I think a lot of us would have preferred that they do. Hi, Hobo. You're really getting some cat days today. Now you understand why I don't record in the main house usually. Hobo, let's not and say we did. How about that? Yeah, this is my old mother cat. Come on, jumpy down. Thank you. It's gonna be a fun video. I think a lot of us would have preferred the standard TIE Fighter, but I'm actually kind of happy they did this now. And I wasn't a big fan of First Order stuff, and still am not, although I accept their ships, starfighters, more easily than I do the quote-unquote Resistance. They're more logical. And this is very much based on the original TIE Fighter, known as the TIE LN, just upgraded. Those were made by Sinar Fleet Systems, and the post-Imperial variants are made by a conglomeration known as Sinar Jamas, which I always want to say Jameson Fleet Systems. So a new conglomerate made in the unknown or outer regions. And the original TIE was pretty basic craft, about 6.3 by 6.4 meters depth and width, and about 7.5 meters tall. It didn't have landing gear, it just could land on its wings, but it was really meant to operate from space. As you know, no hyperdrive, no shields, no life support. It had the 2 big power generating wings plus internal power cells that had ion engines, hence the TIE and TIE Fighter, twin ion engines, and it had 2 Sinar LS-1 laser cannons. And that's about it. It was a ball with wings. First seen in A New Hope. It was a kind of a white color, although they originally intended more for blue. In Empire Strikes Back, it turned more gray, although we've seen blue as well. Well, we get to the First Order, and they have a variant called the TIE FO for First Order, or TIE Fighter. It's slightly upgraded, and it's basically the same dimensions as our ship here, about 6.7, a little bit wider, by 6.4, so about the same depth, and a little under 8.2 meters tall, so a little bit taller. It has improved reactors, collection systems, and the TIE FO was still a single-seater, still did not have life support, still did not have a hyperdrive, but did have basic shielding, so it could take a hit or two at most. Improved power systems, like I said, and improved Cinar Jameson, see, there you go, LS 9.6 standard lasers, plus the ion engines and what have you. And that was the standard fleet ship. Both of these original TIEs had enough oxygen and basic provisions on board for 1 to 2 days, and were not meant for long range. We can talk more about those later if you want. But that gets us to today's vessel, the TIE Fighter Special Forces, the TIE SF. Dimensionally, it's the same as the TIE FO, but it has a lot of new features. It has enhanced power generation. It has pre-charged dilithium, or what do they call it? Deuterium cells, energy cells. It has the same LS 9.6 laser cannons, same basic hull, and the same basic twin ion engines back here. The original TIE and the TIE FO were capable of about 1200 kph in atmosphere. The SF is slightly faster at about 1250. They also have faster space speeds. Space speeds. You can tell I'm getting ready for a trip. But from there, they diverge quite a bit. The Special Forces is meant for, well, Special Forces missions, reconnaissance, surveillance, spec ops, long range. In fact, it has enough provisions on board for 5 days, and for a crew of 2, one in the back, who would be flight engineer / gunner, and of course pilot in the front, although it could operate with just one. It also had long-range advanced communications and sensor systems, hence this kind of antenna dish up here. Hello, cats. And it had a secondary turret under here. This is a Cinar Jameson LH-14 heavy turret. It has 2 lasers, plus it can fire concussion missiles out of a KDY, Kuwait Drive Yards launcher. It can also fire mag pulses for disabling, and it can have its concussion missiles replaced with fewer proton torpedoes. That's because this thing has not only life support for its crew of 2, although they still wear flight suits as a normal rule, it has a hyperdrive, and not a bad one either. For example, Darth Vader's TIE Advanced X1 had a Class 4 hyperdrive, which is somewhat slow. This has an improved Class 2. So while it's not super fast, it's not bad. A lot of Clone Warrior ships had a Class 2 hyperdrive. And no backup. But it does have enhanced shielding and a stronger reinforced hull, so it can actually stay in the fight longer. Kind of a neat setup. And it does have very much that classic TIE look, but with a fun little rotating turret. Now, I will admit, having a turret that rotates on a TIE because of the panels is a little silly. You think you'd want something that would maybe pivot up and down, but at least you have some rear-facing guns, or they can be locked to the front, giving a punch of 4 lasers, 2 of them being heavy, and concussion missiles, torpedoes, or mag pulses, plus the enhanced sensor suites and just better capabilities. That said, they still didn't have landing gear. They were expected to land on their wings. So what about our model slash toy here? Well, it is of course all plastic, but it does come pre-painted, held together with screws, and does have some decent weight to it, and definitely has some decent size to it. It's roughly 2 foot wide and tall, and slightly less back to back, maybe 22, 21 inches. It's big. Now, of course, a lot of it is that, but actually what surprised me is how big the ball is here itself, and the gun's protruding. It's got more going on than I suspected. I've already showed you how these rotate here, and then of course the cockpit easily opens and can easily be removed to get inside if you need to, because we have a full interior. As with the snow speeder, really any of the vehicles, it's Hobo again. Say hi, Hobo. No, wrong end of the cat. We like this. Yeah, we like the head end. Hi. Please jump down now. She's just curious. As with the snow speeder and other, well, really anything, this comes with one standard figure, and he is not only a pilot, he is a Special Forces pilot, which basically just means he has some red accents and highlights. But because this has seating for 2 back to back, kind of like on the snow speeder, we can fit our standard pilot in there. And yeah, they have little clips they go in. They have little handles for their hands, because that's where handles go. They even have a control panel. He actually has a pretty nice panel back here. You'd imagine he would control not only the gun, but also the hyperdrive and other systems, leaving our pilot man to do the rest. But the interior is pretty spacey, honestly. More so than I thought it'd be. Here you go. I'll slide you inside. Maybe. At least that way. Hey, you're upside down. Yeah, there's a lot more space in here than I expected. And also getting this interior kind of reminds me of a Russian spacecraft, like Soyuz or even the Voskhod series, the kind of cylindrical. And yeah, they've got a lot more elbow room than I suspected they would. So yeah, the interior is kind of a small fishbowl sized. And we still have some basic clear plastic up here, and in the back, and in the front here. And these come pretty much pre-assembled, except for you need to pop on the wings and the turret. But they stay on very well. The only part that comes off relatively easy is this hatch, and I think that's by intent, either to keep it from getting snapped off, or just so you can get in there easier if you need to get to your figures. I should get the pilot out, but I'm not going to, because I got him situated in there good. But he's very similar to a Imperial pilot, but frankly a little sleeker. And in lore, turn the light more. Oh, it said that the First Order actually values their pilots, whereas the Empire kind of treated them as cannon fodder. Have texturing on the solar panels, wings. So I guess this is a green friendly fighter. Something you don't typically hear about in First Order propaganda. And we do see these, of course, quite famously at the beginning of Force Awakens, like quite a few times later on in that same film. At least 3 of these escort Kylo Ren, I know, in Last Jedi, including one of them launching its concussion missile at the Radis, turning into the Leia Poppins scene. And they're still featured in The Rise of Skywalker, aka quite possibly the worst film of modern history. I don't know. Anyway. But that aside, I do like the design, and as kind of a toy slash thing, it's nice to be able to put two folks in here. And I think it's neat that they actually have physical controls. You know, when I was a kid, you had to make do with stickers, maybe a control stick. But no, it's fully detailed. Of course, in this size, it's one of the benefits. It does allow for that. So I've been seeing these at about $250 now because they haven't made them in well over 5 years. So when I was able to find one for about $150 and I had birthday coupon money, I just couldn't resist. If you do get one, make sure to check the shipping rates too. I got free shipping, but this comes in a box about this size, so you can imagine that it's not cheap. But this is the only TIE fighter they've done. They said they lost money on these, even selling them. When they came out, retail was like $170. And I can understand why. Now, I know they went on sale for as cheap as $100 at some places, but didn't get quite that lucky. And they never did an X-Wing. They probably could have got away with an A-Wing, but X-Wing, Y-Wing would already be probably too big. But it's kind of fun. It's nice to have something to mess with your characters with. And I have to be honest, I'm probably slightly more impressed by this than I was the Snowspeeder, and I don't hate the Snowspeeder. So final thoughts on my first of 3 birthday-oriented videos. I hope I'm getting something on camera for you. I know even sighted people struggle to get this one. So, it is what it is. But, yeah, it's neat. It's fun. And, considering what just going out to eat for 2 to 4 people costs these days, especially for a nice steak, it'll probably last longer. It's made out of a good, sturdy plastic. It has enough bend to it. It shouldn't crack and fragment too badly. It doesn't have a stand or anything. It does come with a pistol for the pilot. That's about it as far as accessories, aside from what's on the craft. It doesn't. The Black Series aren't really full of action features. That's not really the point of the line. So, no firing missiles or anything like that, which is probably why I like them. If anyone's interested, we can revisit the smaller titanium ties, as I do have the whole series of those. But yeah, just felt like sharing this one with you while I have my laundry process. Up next, we'll get a weekend black box. So yeah, hope the new camera is still working out pretty good for you. Yeah, I was reluctant to get this. Money, sure, for being first order also, but just taken as a design, I like it. And I think it kind of harkening back to a Soviet style spacecraft only pushes me further. But what do you think? What's your favorite TIE fighter? The regular, the interceptor, the bomber, the advanced, maybe something newer like the Striker? Let me know. Let's talk about it in the comments below. Hope everyone's having a good November, and I will catch you very soon next time.